This is Sky Sports 1 Live.
If you're a big-name performer, then the Royal Albert Hall is where you want to appear. For more than a century, the big names in showbiz, the arts and music have all performed here, and along the way, boxing's had one or two major nights as well. And tonight, live on Saturday Fight Night, World Championship action from the Royal Albert Hall. In one corner, an undoubted world star in Marco Antonio Barrera, and in the other, a more homespun hero. But it's Paul Lloyd's big chance.
So very.
Lloyd's never strayed far from his roots in a career built on hard work. Out of the ring, he owns a cafe and remains willing to do his share. In the ring, he's done everything at domestic level. The British and Commonwealth bantamweight champion outlasted Luigi Mancini to make it 3 titles.
An incredible performance from Paul Lloyd, and he now adds the European title to his British and Commonwealth crowns.
But he's tried once before to make it in world class, and it was a painful lesson as Tim Austin quickly picked him apart. This time it's another big-name world champion. In fact, Marco Antonio Barrera has been one of the finest pound-for-pound anywhere this decade. Another Merseyside fighter, Richie Wenton, will vouch for that, destroyed in 3 rounds, as Barrera regained his world super bantamweight title. Now he brings his power-punching style to Britain for the first time.
Well, I come to win the fight. I don't know by cut, by decision, but I come to win an explosion fight.
I'm taking on, one of the best super bantamweights in the world, and if I can pull it off, it's a dream come true.
And what a place to do it. A venue like this one tends to bring out the very best in any top performer. They've had spectaculars of all sorts here. This could be another one tonight. Marco Antonio Barrera is in town to defend his world title. Paul Lloyd bidding to step back up into the super bantamweight division and win a world title in one bold move. Good evening to you. What an achievement it would be for Lloyd, but it looks a really tough task. Packed show coming up tonight here. We've got a world title fight and 2 major British title showdowns to bring you as well. Jim Watts alongside me. Well, was he being polite, Lloyd, saying Barrera's one of the best in this division pound for pound?
No, without a doubt, he wasn't being polite. Full credit. Barrera is an exceptionally good fighter. He's got it all: power, strength, the whole shooting match, every punch. Paul is really biting off a big job tonight. This is really going to be tough for him.
Jim, do you feel he could have learned enough from his previous outing in world class to make a better job of it this time round?
I don't know. I mean, he was out overmatched the last time he boxed at this level. Paul is a first-class domestic European champion, but it's an enormous leap to get up with people like Barrera. I mean, these are exceptional fighters. Barrera is an exceptional fighter. Really, I don't know really what I hope for Paul. I hope he puts up a good show. As to hear the man here looking very relaxed, as you can see. Not a care in the world. He's done it all. He's been in a tough school. Nothing to fear. I think he's entitled to claim he is the best super bantamweight in the world at this moment. One
of those sickening all-rounders, Barrera. We understand he's a more than decent second division footballer in Mexico. Law student out of the ring, and he's making a fortune in it. Even outshines you.
Yeah, well, at the moment he's putting all of his attention in boxing, and it's paying off for him. He's really boxing well. OK, he has lost a couple of times to the same man, but I think that was a little blip.
More on Barrera later. The British and Commonwealth heavyweight title fight is where we start tonight. Julius Francis against Danny Williams. We have a 34-year-old champion here in Francis looking to win a Lonsdale belt outright tonight. And in the other corner, 25-year-old Danny Williams, carefully brought along, now let off the leash. The big test coming in his 16th pro fight. The man in charge is Larry O'Connell. You may remember, condemned by Frank Maloney, manager of Francis, and Lennox Lewis, of course, for his scoring of Holyfield Lewis 3 weeks ago. Maloney has already apologised for condemning Larry O'Connell in the heat of the moment then, and with a handshake tonight, normal business relations were restored. So let's get it underway here. Glenn McCrory and Ian Darker at ringside for us, and our master of ceremonies is Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome viewers live and exclusive on Sky Sports to Britain's premier venue in London, the Royal Albert Hall, where tonight Frank Warren proudly presents World Championship Boxing. We begin our coverage this evening with a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the heavyweight championship of Great Britain and the Commonwealth. And introducing the boxers, and firstly, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears white trunks and comes from Brixton in London and weighed in at 17 stone 10 pounds. He has an undefeated 19 wins from 15 contests, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. And tonight he comes to the ring as the challenger for the title. Please welcome Danny Williams. And across the ring in the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with gold, he fights from Woolwich, London, and weighed in at 17 stone 2 pounds. He holds a 26-fight professional record, 19 wins, 11 wins coming by way of knockout with 7 losses. Tonight makes his second defence of the title as the British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion, Julius Francis. The timekeeper for this contest, Mr. Peter McCann. The referee, Britain's leading referee, Mr. Larry O'Connell.
Defend yourselves at all times and obey my commands all the time. Good luck to both of you, may the best man win.
Well, something of a mixed reception for Larry O'Connell, it has to be said, but I think it's time to forget what happened in New York. The man has suffered enough for all of that, and he's been in boxing for half a century and is very well respected. It's good to have him back. A much anticipated fight this. Danny Williams, 25 years of age, challenging for the title. It's the first big night of his career, regarded as the outstanding prospect in Britain, unbeaten in 15 fights, but Julius Francis put paid to another unbeaten hope in Pele Reid last time out, and is in the form of his life at 34. Big crowd, big atmosphere, Britain's best boxing arena, the Royal Albert Hall, for this one. These two know each other well. They've sparred dozens of rounds in the gym. Williams, you wonder whether he'll have stage fright. He does get nervous, but the way he unloaded that right hand, I think the answer we already have.
And maybe trying just a little too much. Maybe that is a little bit of nerves. He's not using the jab, just looking for the big punch straight away.
Francis in the black trunks, making his second defence of the famous old British heavyweight title. The Commonwealth crown also on the line here.
Francis very experienced and coming off that good win, as you said, against Pele Reid. Williams been out of the ring for some time. It was October last year, so maybe just a little bit of ring rust as well with him.
Good body shots from Francis, who has a good tight defence. Williams here is moving from the foothills to higher altitude in this boxing business. How does he cope? This night may tell us plenty about him. Francis getting the gloves up well and blocking the shots. Oh, right hand gets through though from Julius Francis, and Williams having to cover up.
Well, this is a good start from Francis. He's getting off with a jab, starting to bring his right hand into play as well. Got the centre of the ring.
Danny Williams works well behind his left jab when he can get it going. But he was unimpressive last time against the Frenchman Antoine Palatis. His most laboured performance, that. Well, everyone's allowed a bad night, but he can't afford one here.
Well, he certainly needs to sharpen up Williams and try to do something. He's just waiting at Francis, and Francis is getting his punches off.
Coming up towards the end of the first round, due to go 12. An intriguing battle, and friendship forgotten tonight. Welcome back to the Royal Albert Hall. A good start by Julius Francis in defence of his British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles, and getting through with that good right hand.
Yes, they'll be pleased with that in the Francis corner. Good punch shown there from Francis. He really got off well, started with his jab, and he'll be just growing in confidence now.
Francis, the champion in the black trunk, he's been very relaxed and confident about this all week. Williams cannot afford to go into his shell. He does think about things an awful lot when he gets into the ring. Maybe a little too much. He says himself that a lot of his best performances have been in the gym, where he recently floored world champion Herbie Hyde. But he's got to do it now when it matters.
Well, he's just standing for punches. Williams does seem in a bit of a daze. He needs to start leading, getting his punches off.
You have to hope, from Williams's point of view, it's not a case of stage fright from him. Looking to really let go with a big left hook, but rather telegraphing it. It came from an awful long way, and just good conventional orthodox work by Julius Francis, who's been in with some good men. He's often lost to good men, but he has that experience, and he says every time that he's been beaten, he's dusted himself off and learned something from it. And maybe that's true.
Well, looked very good and mature in his win against Pellier Reid. He really beat Reid in good style, and that will have given him a lot of confidence.
Just telegraphing that right hand at the moment, Danny Williams, but he does pack some power. He's got 10 wins inside 2 rounds. A lot of Francis's punches, to be fair to Williams, hitting his gloves. Looks tight though, and has frozen a little early, you feel here, Danny Williams.
Yes, he looks very tight. He's very upright, not bending his knees and moving his head very much.
There's a concerned look on the face of Danny Williams' manager, Frank Warren, on the far side. Oh, there's the right hand. It does land this time for Williams. That might lift him. And then he digs in one to the body, and it was low, and Larry O'Connell has to step in, and he'll give Francis time to recover from that.
Well, he really went for it with that left hook to the body. It just was a little bit low, but just signs that Danny Williams starting to come alive a little.
There's a feeling among people who've watched Williams in the past and have seen him in the gym that he can sometimes go to sleep in fights. He needs to really have a fire behind him, to get something to get him going, to show some devil. Again, he really does believe in that right hand. They've worked on that in training. Francis with Mark Rose, done a very good job with him in the corner there. And one of the rivalries and subplots tonight is that Francis is a Frank Maloney fighter and Danny Williams is a Frank Warren fighter, so the two big camps in opposition.
Well, there was the good punch from Williams, finally just did something, and that was a lead straight right hand. It connected very well. Looked for the follow-up, but that's what he got, a very low punch. And the referee very quickly in to give Francis a little bit of time to recover from that.
10 seconds.
Kofi Asante, the trainer, relatively new trainer of Danny Williams. He used to be with Jimmy Tibbs. It's only his second fight with Asante, who used to be better known as Winston Spencer. He's a decent pro himself, boxed many times here. Black trunks, remember, Julius Francis, the defending champion here. Indian summer to his career. Good body shots from him. And you just feel at the moment that Williams needs to be busier and more assertive, Glenn.
Yes, he needs to start lightening up a little bit, getting that jab working. He's giving Francis too much time to work, and Francis is obliging, getting his punches off quite well.
Williams beginning to get that jab into play. It's a heavy-looking jab as well from Williams, who tonight is nearly a stone heavier than for his last fight, but he thinks this is his right weight, about 17-10, but wide open to Francis's right hand there. He'd pay for that against a really big puncher at top world level, if he ever gets that far.
Yes, very little head movement from Williams, standing very straight up, and Francis getting through when he puts his combinations together.
Better from Williams, left, which was on the borderline. Keep them up, says Larry O'Connell. Oh, good little right there as they broke away from Francis. Francis, who sparred with the likes of Herbie Hyde, Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno in his time. And you'll notice on his shorts he has R.I.P. John Williams, his great friend and mentor, who died of cancer last year.
Still looking for that left hook to the body, Williams. Francis not as hard, but he's more effective with his body punches, scoring with both hands.
Signs of Williams warming up in the third round. He needs to. A lot of them hitting the gloves from Francis, but good combinations. Again, a bit on the lowish side from Williams. Danny Williams getting the gloves up well here, though, blocking nearly everything on the gloves.
This is warming up to a good heavyweight fight.
With 21 fights and 15 knockouts.
Engel really is on a roll. Bring on Naz. I'm ready for you.
The WBO World Featherweight title just got one day closer.
At the end of the day, I just want to fight.
Both unbeaten, but who's the unbeatable? Naz v. Engel in association with Budweiser next Saturday at 8, Sky Box Office 3. Book now for the early price of $11.95. Call 0990 800 777. Cable customers contact your local operator.
More live World Championship action next Saturday then on Sky Box Office 3 and Sky Digital. Prince Nassim Hamed defending his WBO World Featherweight title against Paul Engel. And one of the all-time greats, Thomas Hearns, in action against Nate Miller at cruiserweight. It starts at 8 next Saturday night. For information, 0990 800 888. Back to Glenn and Ian for the heavyweights here.
And it's an absorbing one as well. Julius Francis, the champion from Woolwich, in the black trunks. The white of Danny Williams from Brixton, so it's something of a South London derby here as well.
This has been a very good start to the fight for Julius Francis. He's the one who's just getting into his rhythm first. He's landed with the more telling blows and a much greater volume. The sense was Williams was just coming into the fight a little more in the last round, but I've given the first 3 rounds to Julius Francis.
Quite a lot hitting the gloves, and the 2 jabs of Williams get through. Great setting here at this splendid multi-tiered Royal Albert Hall, which has seen so many excellent evenings of boxing down the years. Williams' defence, apart from the odd aberration, looking pretty tight.
Williams trying to use his strength in close there, pushing Francis off, looking to load up for a big right hand.
Glenn and I, by the way, seeing this a little bit differently. I had it even after 3 rounds, but there you go. Good body shots from Francis. He looks composed and patient and like the mature, battle-hardened pro he is now.
Williams trying to get a great deal of power behind that jab. For me, do better if he just tried to loosen it up and put more out rather than going for one big one.
Combination shot from Williams this time, and again, and two more left hooks. Then the right cross now. There's no stage fright. He's going through the gears a bit here, Danny Williams. Francis tries to meet fire with fire. Good fight, fourth round.
Good determination from Francis, coming back after that combination from Williams. Good right hand again from Francis.
Well, Francis weathered the rally and came back.
Well, that was a very good round. Some good work from Williams. Just started to let his punches go. Got through with a terrific combination and really just livened up and let the punches go. But Francis showed good temperament, weathered that little storm and come back with good right hands of his own.
The computer showing that Francis has landed far more punches so far. Here's round 5, due to go 12, of course. Looks like Williams might have been told by his corner to really get to work.
With the decent left hook from Francis.
Incidentally, Jimmy Tibbs, who used to watch a lot of the sparring sessions between these two in the gym, fancied Williams to win it, but felt that he probably would need to do it in the earlier part of the fight. The longer it went, the more he fancied Francis.
Francis still keeping cool, doing his job like a good pro.
There's a real ramrod quality about some of these jabs that Williams is throwing in now. It's been a really good and long build-up to this fight with plenty of verbal sparring. Francis with plenty to say, but this is the real thing now with the lighter gloves and no head guards. Forget what happened in the gym. Good work from Francis, doubling up on the jab, right hand too. Williams, you sense, just needs to up his work rate to really exert some big pressure. That's a very good left hook to the body. I think that hurt Francis, just winced a little. The poker face was penetrated just for a split second.
Francis still trying to work the jab, come back with something every time Williams starts a big attack. But that jab's looking very solid from Williams now.
And all the time he's looking for that overhand right, hoping that just once he can hit the button with it.
Not as much effective work from Francis in this round. Williams pushing forward throughout.
Goodness me, he's loading up with that right hand. If it ever connects, it'll be interesting to see the results. Welcome back to the Royal Albert Hall, and isn't it be nice to say that in this arena? There's total punches landed so far. Well, big advantage for Francis, says the computer.
Corners 10 seconds.
Of course, the computer doesn't feel the weight of the punches.
This really is livening up. It's a very good fight for the British heavyweight title and the Commonwealth.
Here's the 6th round. If you still need the identification, Julius Francis, the defending British and Commonwealth champion, making his 2nd defence in the black trunks. 34 years of age. He's in terrific shape. Good left hook from Williams. And we said early on that he looked a bit tight and as if he'd frozen. And I think that was true for 2 rounds, but forget it now. He's properly into this fight now and beginning to land with some quite solid-looking blows, and the gloves have come down from Francis, and his work has just started to look, I don't know, a little bit more skimpy and not so substantial.
Yes, he's looking more thoughtful about what he throws out, certainly going more defensive, looking for punches coming from Williams. Williams looking strong, getting the centre of the ring, forcing Francis around the ring now.
It's just a feeling at the moment that the younger man possibly could be getting the upper hand. But 12 rounds is a long argument, and this is only round 6.
Francis certainly looking a little more subdued. He's thinking about it now.
He's looking good at the moment, Williams. This left jab. This is a sickening punch. He keeps thudding home. And is he just bit by bit breaking something of the spirit of Julius Francis, who's looking a little swollen around the face. Maybe that Francis had landed more punches, as the computer said, but it was always my impression here that the more solid shots were coming from the young challenger.
Decent right hands over the top of that pawing jab.
Williams, very religious man who prays in the dressing room before his fights. Francis, the former rabble-rouser as a youngster, now a reformed character completely.
Well, just pushing that jab out there, Francis. Really solid punches coming home from Williams.
Mixing them up to the head and body. And this is getting very hard work for Francis. That was a big, big round for Danny Williams. Let's go to Adam Smith now, who has Gary Mason with him, the former British champion.
Well, Gary, exciting stuff, isn't it? How do you see it?
The tension's building at the moment. Julius started off well and won the earlier part of the fight, which is to be expected. Danny's young and experienced. Now Danny's making a comeback in the fight, and he's looking to take control of the fight. This is an actual turning point now, because Julius has been backing up the last couple of rounds, and is he just taking a break, or is he just getting too much stick? You know, it's at a crucial stage, and the crowd are warming to it. It's nice to see a fight like this at the Oval.
Come on, what's going to happen?
Well, watch and see.
Thanks, Gary.
Oh. Well, that's a big shout from Gary Mason, that, isn't it? Watch and see. Well, what is going to happen?
Well, I just got the feeling that Francis is starting to become tentative with us, where Williams growing in confidence, just starting to get through with very solid punches. Francis needs to really come back with a big round to get some confidence back.
Steps it up again, Julius Francis. Good body shots from him, and Williams now looking a little disorganised there. This has taken him a bit by surprise. I wonder if he felt he'd taken Francis's measure. Seventh round. Good fight too, for the famous old British heavyweight championship with the Commonwealth belt thrown in too. Williams, whose father, Augustus, told him that one day he'd be a world champion. At the time, Williams was 8.
This is better now for Francis. He needed a big round. He's starting to pick it up, starting to be much busier.
Can Williams build on that little bridgehead he built for himself in the 6th? Bookmakers made Danny Williams a 5-2-1 favourite to take the title tonight, or both titles, I should say. Oh, good right hand from Williams.
Francis took the shot, just rolled his shoulders a little.
Clubbing right hand. Oh, and well, Francis goes down. There's been a clash of heads there, and Francis grimacing in pain. Box on, says referee Larry O'Connell. Hard to know what to make of that, Glenn.
Yeah, certainly there's not a cut there, or there's not a bump emerging, but I think there could well have been a head clash in there. He certainly reacted like he had been hurt.
Or was it a little distress signal from Francis? Williams may see it as such. Larry O'Connell was very quick to get them to get on with the action. Williams has come on strong as this round has gone on. He's starting to unload those heavy-looking shots again.
Francis really needs to do something. There's the danger that Williams is really going to get on top here.
Williams again for me, Glenn. I don't know what you thought, although Francis maybe won the earlier part of the round.
Yes, I think it was a Williams round. He dominated for the most part.
Now let's have a look and see what did happen here. Oh, there was quite a nasty clash of heads. That was why Julius Francis was grimacing and wanted to take a timeout.
Well, he reacted immediately. He did the right thing. He could have maybe just stood up and getting hit with some big shots when he couldn't see. He went down, he just bought himself a little bit of time there just to clear his head.
Francis, who says he regularly takes out his Lonsdale belt to admire, and says no one is going to take it away from him. Danny Williams has other ideas, as you will have gathered. Round 8. Williams, white trunks. Frank Warren says he's a heavyweight champion in the making. Frank Maloney says he's a heavyweight without a heart.
Well, I think both these fighters have shown plenty heart so far. This is a good and entertaining heavyweight fight.
Yep, it's tribute to both of them. They put on a show here for a good crowd.
There's a lot of pride at stake in there, and you can tell that they're both trying to come back as soon as one or the other gets on top.
And a lot of high hopes about Danny Williams on the way through. But this really is his first big test. If he's ever going to make it as a world-level heavyweight, he has to win this one. Chopping right hands. Francis needs to get off those ropes. Williams really setting himself, planting his feet for these shots. They look damaging, Glenn.
Yes, he's getting a lot of weight into these punches. Francis standing on the ropes, can't be there too much longer.
He's covering up well, Francis. Not all of these are getting through, but it's a really vicious assault, this, from Danny Williams. But look at the comeback here from Francis. Williams has lost his gun shield. Next time there's a lull, Larry O'Connell will call a timeout, but he couldn't do it now.
Well, what about this? The crowd on their feet with those exchanges.
And I must say, after all the criticism he's taken, Larry O'Connell's having a great fight here, isn't he? Timing everything to perfection.
He's doing everything right. A good job for Larry O'Connell.
Waited till exactly the right time, and there was a lull. Well, this fight's getting better.
I said there was a little bit of pride at stake. Looks to be a lot more than that.
Some of these Francis shots, I think, quite a lot of them have been hitting gloves. Williams' defence, usually, I stress usually, has looked pretty good here. Both of them want this so very badly.
Sense Williams getting a bit of a breather. It was a big assault from him. Needs to get his breath back. These are some big men in there.
But Williams is throwing every shot, it seems to me, with evil intent. Even the jabs. How have you got it now, Glenn?
Well, I've just got with that round, I've got Williams going into a 1-point lead.
I've got it wider. I've got him by 4 points. But I may be misreading it.
Well, I give Francis everything at the beginning, but Williams almost everything late. Good spell for Williams with Francis on the rope. Francis taking a few of those shots on the gloves, but really just so many coming through from Williams. He had to start getting through with some heavy ones, and he did towards the end of that assault.
It's all a bit different from the classical music concerts they sometimes have here, Glenn.
It certainly is, but it is something of a classic in itself.
And here's the 9th round of it, with Danny Williams in the white trunks and the proud Julius Francis putting up an excellent effort again in defence of his titles. Here's Glenn's scorecard for you.
That's how I've got it. Just that 1 point in Williams' favour. But we're getting into the late stages now, and Francis is much more used to going into the latter rounds. Williams has only been 10 rounds on one occasion.
Yes, nearly all of his fights have been over in a couple of rounds. He's had a few 4-rounders, but just that 1 12-rounder with Palatis last time out, and that wasn't a fast-paced, hard fight like this one. So, stamina, question mark for Danny Williams. We don't know about it. It's probably okay. Good body shot, right hand from Julius Francis. Well, Larry O'Connell's scorecard at Holyfield Lewis, along with that of Eugenia Williams, caused a worldwide controversy. I wonder what it's saying tonight.
You wouldn't think there was that much in it. This has been a hard-fought contest throughout.
There's not quite so much coming from Williams in this round. Is he just feeling the pace a little?
Well, it's decent boxing from Francis. He's keeping cool, just keeping working on the retreat.
It's Williams, who looks to be getting through with the heavier shots, but look at this from Francis again.
Well, Francis really proving his mettle in there.
Both of them showing tremendous grit and pride. Pace has just slackened a little, understandably, in this round.
Well, Williams just loading up too much in this round. Francis is the one for me who's done the better work.
Good fight here, and still to come tonight. A great opportunity for Paul Lloyd from Ellesmere Port, British Commonwealth European bantamweight champion, but moving up to super bantamweight to fight one of the greats of the modern era, Marco Antonio Barrera, making his British debut. Do not miss that.
Well, Francis doing the better in the last round. Good work from him here. You just sensed that Danny Williams was loading up too much. And whenever he did, Francis come back with this sort of work. Look at that good right hand. Francis landing with more punches. 15-11. A good right hand there, causing Williams to cover up.
Seconds out, round 10.
Only 3 rounds to go now in this one. Which of these two has that extra bit of petrol to get them down the home straight? Francis, remember, giving away 9 years, 34 playing 25. Ooh, right hand. Just seemed to ride the punch though, Francis.
These are nice punches from Francis on the retreat, the right lefts.
Tangled like a couple of underwater octopuses for a moment.
Williams looking to get much more power into his shots.
Big left uppercut, and for a moment somehow Francis seemed to be looking at somebody up in one of the balconies right at the top of the Royal Albert Hall. Well, the heavyweight title of Great Britain may have lost a bit of its lustre since the days when Henry Cooper and Joe Erskine and Dick Richardson and Brian London were having their arguments. But we're seeing a good battle for the crown here.
Still big spells where nothing happens from Danny Williams. Julius Francis just picking away with these little shots, building up the points.
Good uppercut on the inside, that, with the right hand from Francis, but then Williams sent the sweat spraying with his right. He really is throwing these punches with danger written all over them, Williams. Francis is using all his know-how and experience to ride them and block them and parry them. Oh! Well, that one got through. He's having to show the quality of his durability here.
And I think he's exerting a lot when he's really putting so much into every punch, Williams. Good finish to the round from Francis here.
It's the quantity of shots from Francis and maybe the extra quality of shot from Williams. The gum shield's come out again. I think it's Williams's. Wouldn't be absolutely certain.
Again, Williams loading up. Francis just dug into the side, not taking the brunt of them. For me, Francis did more. I've got to give him that round.
Well, I wonder whether there'll be arguments about the scores here, because Glenn and I are seeing this one a little bit differently. Doesn't often happen, but I've got Danny Williams in a handy lead.
Well, I'm edging it to Francis For me, he's just doing more of the scoring punches. Williams really loading up, getting him some good, but look how many gets through there. Francis caught that one on his glove. Through a lot of this fight, he's managed to do that. Again, missing punches for Danny Williams, and that's good defensive work from Francis.
But I think quite a few of Francis's shots have been hitting the gloves too, haven't they, Glenn?
Yes, they have, but I think more of Williams than Francis.
Well, the computer supports you. Here's round 11. White trunks, remember, of Danny Williams. It's an intriguing fight, however it's being scored, and only one scorecard counts, that of the very much in the news Larry O'Connell, the jewellery engraver, sometimes to the royal family themselves. Another draw, Glenn?
Well, could be a possibility. Certainly a close fight. But I've been impressed with the way Francis has just kept busy when Williams is coming forward.
Breathing a little heavily here, Danny Williams, and then looking a little sloppy in defence, which he hasn't done most of the night. Is that extra experience of Francis, the man who's been there and fought the likes of Željko Mavrovic and John Ruiz and Axel Schultz, is that going to get him home here? He knows maybe a bit more of what it takes.
Has to be careful, Francis, as he backs away, doesn't leave his chin open to these big punches from Williams.
Williams in danger of getting outworked because he's tending to work in spasms.
Still picking away with good punches, Francis. This is good work from him, good experience, keeping busy throughout the round. That also helps in keeping Williams off balance.
Williams not doing enough. Gum shield nearly coming out again for Danny Williams.
I think that's a measure of the tiredness of Williams, the fact that he's really exerted himself and putting so much into every punch. Francis has been looser, worked this fight better for me.
Williams's camp based their strategy on the extra power, that much is clear. They said that when Francis's gloves came down, they would make him pay and take him out. That's a great right uppercut there from Williams. But look at Francis again. What an amazing performance this is from the champion at the age of 34.
He gets caught with those punches. You see him grit his teeth against his gum shield and just start throwing punches out.
Only one round to go.
And on my card, I've got Francis starting to pull away. He's just got better work. Look at this from long range. Just keeping busy, scoring shots. And it was another decent round for Francis, who weathered the storms when he had to, but kept busy throughout the rest of the round.
There is Larry O'Connell. I wonder what his scorecard is saying. We shall soon find out. There's only 3 minutes to go. Glenn has Francis ahead by 2 points.
Yes, I'm giving him the last 3 rounds just to start pulling clear.
Some of these rounds may have been open to different interpretations. We've seen how subjective the scoring business can be, and here is the last round. Williams needing a big round maybe to restate his case here.
Well, credit to both these fighters. This has been a good one. 2 big men giving their all in there, showing what the worth of the British and Commonwealth belt really is.
Julius Francis already seen off the previously unbeaten Pele Reid a couple of months back. Here he is, looking to put a dent in the unbeaten record of another of our heavyweight hopes, Danny Williams.
Williams looking very tired still, loading up. I think that's really all he's got.
Gum shield almost came out again there. He's definitely not done too much in the last 2 or 3 rounds, Williams. Maybe his stamina has run a bit dry. Right crosses simultaneously from the pair of them. Look at this now in the final round. Williams, one big last effort maybe. And again, as he's done so often, Francis uses his know-how to fiddle his way through the storm.
And again, the crowd on their feet, they're loving this.
And there's now just a minute and a quarter remaining. Which way will it go? As you'll have gathered, Glenn and I have seen it a little differently.
Francis again busying himself up as Williams looks tired. Trying to get back some of the points he may have lost from that big flurry to Williams.
How has Larry O'Connell got it? And remember, Julius Francis, like Lennox Lewis, is a Frank Maloney fighter. Left hook. Desperation shots really from Danny Williams now.
Big swings from Williams, he wasn't connecting with those shots. Well, the last 20 seconds, who's got anything left? Well, for me, Francis has done enough. Just been busier, used his experience against the youth and the power of Williams.
Looking fresher as too, light on his feet, and Julius Francis retains his British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles. What an amazing success for him. A brilliant performance really from Julius Francis. He had to take some heavy shots. He did that. He beat his old friend and sparring partner and handed a first ever defeat to Danny Williams. Hats off to Julius Francis.
Well, he's coming in the twilight of his career. This is the best run for Francis. He's beaten 2 unbeaten prospects, and he's very happy at that. A great performance from Julius Francis. Used his experience so well.
There's what the computer says, that Francis landed, getting on for 30 more punches in the contest. It's a big blow that to Frank Warren as well, who had high hopes of Danny Williams. He's recently lost Prince Nassim Hamed, of course. He was hoping that Danny Williams would come through to be a big star for him. Well, maybe he will still. Maybe he'll come back and learn from that. But in the end, I think his stamina gave out, didn't it, really, in the last few rounds?
Yeah, I think the problem really for Williams was he was very nervous. He gave Francis too much of a lead early on, and then he tried too hard for the big power instead of picking his jab and working for lighter punches.
Well, the crowd have really enjoyed that. Boxing back at the Albert Hall, and how?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, after 12 very hard rounds of boxing, the referee scores the contest. Danny Williams, 114 points. Julius Francis, 118 points. The winner and still British and Commonwealth heavyweight champion, Julius Francis. And to present the belt, the president of the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. Nipper Reid.
Well, what Glenn and Ian couldn't have seen from ringside as the fight was still on, in every corner of the Albert Hall tonight there were people standing and cheering through the latter rounds of the fight. I thought it was a superb fight, Jim. And for younger fans, we've heard an awful lot about how good these British heavyweight title fights used to be in years gone by. This has got to be of that standard, surely.
Yeah, definitely. That would rank with the best of them for excitement and sheer endeavour from both guys. And wonderful, this man hanging on to his title. And I'm glad to say I agreed with Larry O'Connell's lopsided verdict. I thought he won it by the 4 rounds. I had him 3 rounds in front, went for the last round. I also gave him the last round. I've been sitting here trying to guess what Danny Williams' fight plan was, but I'm sorry, I haven't got a clue. I don't think he had one. He's facing the older man, the more experienced man, but it allowed him to control the pace, control the action, and in too many rounds he didn't start working until the last minute of the round, virtually gifting the rounds to Julius Francis. A worthy winner, excellent performance.
Thank you. He's a man who's changed his life around and he loves being a champion. Here he is with Ian Dark.
Well, Julius, they keep tipping against you and you keep proving them wrong. That was some performance again.
You know what, I have to say thank you to the Almighty Father Jesus Christ, first and foremost, for giving me the strength and giving me this victory yet again, you know, because by his strength is only him alone. Thank you.
Danny Williams, your old friend and sparring partner, tried to come on strong and hit you with his heavy shots. He was banking on power to take you out, wasn't he?
You know what? All credit to Danny, because he gave me one of the hardest fights I've ever had. You know, Danny's a puncher, and believe me, when I give up this belt, when I give up the title, I'm not giving up the belt, but when I give up the title, Danny Williams will be British heavyweight champion. He will be British heavyweight champion. All credit to him. He's a bad fighter. He tried, you know, he tried in there. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault Danny Williams because he tried in there. But like I said before, the belts will stand with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not prepared to give them up. I'm not prepared to relinquish them now. Anything like that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody keeps writing Julius Francis off. But you know what, look, I'm still here, you know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. All credit to Mark Rowe, my trainer, Frank Maloney, my manager. You know what I'm saying? They got good things for me, you know what I'm saying?
It was a great fight for the title, which I think is important as well. What do you think is the secret behind this late career improvement of yours?
You know what it is? It's self-belief. Self-belief. I've got a new trainer. Well, I've had much since I hooked up with Mark Rowe. He's instilled in me self-belief. You know what I'm saying? Believe and telling me that age is no big deal. Age is no big deal. It's what you got upstairs. If you got self-belief, you know. And I'm in the gym every day. I train hard. I run hard. Thank you to Adam Spelling, who's running with me. Danny Watts, Harry Senior, who was my sparring partner. All them guys I have to give enough credit to.
All right, well done tonight. Thanks a lot, and well done, Julius.
I want to say one thing, please. Let's not fault him no more. They said Danny was a class act tonight, which he was. But this guy's beat him. What does that make, Julius?
Thanks a lot, Mark Rowe. Thank you.
A heavyweight with a big future, actually. And poetic justice, perhaps, as Maloney finds himself in total agreement this week with Larry O'Connell. Straight on to the top of the bill, if we can attempt to follow that tonight. WBO World Super Bantamweight title fight. Marco Antonio Barrera is here to defend his honour and his reputation. He weighed in 8 stone 9, just under the 8'10" limit, and would appear, Jim, to have dispelled any rumours that maybe he was struggling to make the weight these days. And Paul Lloyd enjoyed a weigh-in for a change, as we shall see here. He bounded onto the scales in the all-together, in fact, leaving our technical experts to preserve his modesty, right on the button at 8'10". But just to point out for Lloyd, against Barrera, he's up to Barrera's weight division, so he's got a few extra pounds to play with, but how does he make it pay against Barrera?
Well, I think he may be stronger with the added pounds. He's certainly be more comfortable at the weight. But at the end of the day, I think to stop this man in his tracks, you need punching power, and I don't think Paul has enough punching power. He doesn't lack heart, grit, determination, talent, but punching power is what's going to be required at some point tonight to stop this man in his tracks. I mean, we know Paul will give it everything he has. He always does that. He only fights the one way, which in a way is one of the problems. It'd be nice if he moved around the ring a bit more, used the ring, but he won't do that. He'll probably stand and trade with Barrera, and really, I can't see him coming off on top.
OK, Jim, short pause coming here, and the fighters will be on their way into the arena here at the Royal Albert Hall for the WBO World Super Bantamweight title fight next.